What on earth did I have for breakfast? What did I have for lunch? I'm like all over the place. I'm like, I'm going on tear after tear after tear today. I don't know why. I'm not going to apologize for it either because it's a good thing. If you're, on a cruise, and I don't even know how many people fit on a cruise ship. 3,000 people on a cruise ship? And, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're the only one awake, and you're up on deck, and the captain's in the cockpit, in the conning tower, and he's looking forward, and you're looking backwards. You're on the stern, and you see a little fire start to burn. Are you going to just calmly walk away and go to bed? Or are you going to ring the alarm? You're going to ring the alarm, right? Or, you see an enemy submarine rise up in back of the ship. Or you see, there's another ship on a collision course, but the captain doesn't see it and the radar's down. What are you going to do? You're going to yell as loud as you can. You're going to ring that bell. Well, your health is at risk. And so is your wealth, by the way. You happy with that 9 to 5? You happy with that mediocre paycheck? You happy with having $10,000 of credit card debt? You don't feel so bad, right? Because all your friends have the same thing. You happy with the bank owning your house? You happy with the bank owning your car? It doesn't feel so bad, right? Because all your friends are in the same boat. It's a good metaphor, the boat metaphor. One of these days you're going to wake up and you're going to get it. You're going to snap out of it and you're going to understand, holy crap, I've been screwed, glued, and tattooed by the corporate banksters and medical professionals. So then you're going to start to take action. You're going to start to get your health back. You're going to start to get your wealth back. You're going to become a longevity member. Get with the person that turned you onto this show, ladies and gentlemen. Get with them. Have them show you the business opportunity. Have them show you the health opportunity. Call them. Tell them, look, I want to get started with this stuff Dr. Glidden's talking about. Get it for me at the wholesale price. And what's this I hear? I can turn people in my life onto this and get my supplements for free and make a couple extra $100 a month. I'm in. I'm all in. Show me how to do it. Because I'm done. I'm done. I am done. Stick a fork in me, baby. I'm done. And this is how we're going to change the world. One person at a time. By the way, the sower had good seed. We have very good seed. Got to have good seed, or this metaphor goes to pot. Dr. Wallach's nutritional supplements are the most effective I've seen in 25 years of clinical work. I've been practicing naturopathic medicine in clinical settings for 25 years, coming up on 26 years in September. And Dr. Wallach's nutritional supplements produce more results than anything I've ever seen. And that's why I advocate it. That's why I do it. I could advocate any vitamin company in the world, and I used to. I used to work for a vitamin company that only sold to doctors. I know about vitamin companies you've never even heard of. I have access as a naturopathic physician to vitamins from companies that only sell to physicians, and I recommend Wallach's instead of theirs. Why? Because Wallach's works better. Proof of the pudding's in the eating. Don't believe me? Well, go jump off a cliff. I don't really care. Proof of the pudding's in the eating. Longevity posts record profits every year. How is that possible? Because it works. For goodness sake. The proof of the pudding's in the eating. Check it out. Get on board with the appropriate healthy pack and get with the person that invited you to this webinar to show them, have them show you the business opportunity. It's not easy, but it's not hard. If you can pass the driver's license test, you can have a successful longevity business, and God knows we need the help. Because nobody knows what we know, and everybody needs to know what we know, and we need an army, a non-militant army of people spreading the message, opening the door for their friends, family members, church members, opening the door to the undiscovered country of optimal health through holistic medicine. And that's how we roll. Want to roll with us? You have a lot of fun if you do. And by the way, if you came to us by hook or by crook, you were searching the internets you were Googling something and Dr. Glidden's friendly face popped up and you just came over here today because the internet advertising that we've done or whatever, then go to my website, drglidden.com, click on the Join Team Glidden button, or call us directly, 855-347-3696, and we'll tell you what to do. And again, if you were directed here by somebody else in longevity, then get with them and they will tell you the next step. New York's up next, one of my favorite states in the country. Love New York State. Hey, Benjamin, what's going on? You are live.
Yeah, Dr. Glidden, what's the cause of cavity?
Oh, it's a cavity, like a tooth cavity?
Yes.
Oh, man, I don't know anything to do to fix that. I wish I did. There's a lot of anecdotal information about what to do for that, but really, man, you need to find a dentist. See, the problem, however, is depending on the dentist that you go to, you're either going to be – there's good dentists and there's bad dentists is what I'm trying to say. Just like anything else, right? There's good cops, there's bad cops. Tend to be way more bad cops than good cops these days. Has anybody noticed that? The days of Andy Griffith are gone, by the way. There's good plumbers, bad plumbers, good roofers, bad roofers, good landscapers, bad landscapers. There's bad lawyers, and then there's maybe a good lawyer here or there. It's the same thing with dentists. So I would ask around to your friends and family members, see who they have gone to and see what their results were. Or check Angie's List, something like that. But, right, our recommendation for oral health is our recommendation for total body health because the mouth is connected to the rest of the body. So the recommendation here, in order to support and promote the structure and function of the teeth, is 1 Healthy Start Pack 2.0 in the liquid form, 1 Healthy Start Pack 2.0 in the liquid form, and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, plus 1 extra bottle of liquid calcium a month, and my favorite is Cal Toddy. So I would do 1 Healthy Start Pack 2.0 in the liquid form, 2 selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, plus 1 extra bottle of Cal Toddy a month. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. Find a good dentist, Benjamin, because they're going to be able to help you here. Washington is up next, my old stomping ground. I lived in Washington State for too long. I started to get moldy myself, had to leave. Camille is up next. Hey, Camille, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hey, thank you. I have a friend, and he is probably in his late 40s, early 30s, and he has Kennedy's disease. And have you heard of that?
Kennedy's disease?
Yes, it's
like the president.
No, but it's an X chromosome. There's a problem with X chromosome, and it's a genetic disease where the muscles fade out. And he says that he used to be a doctor and he has no hope. And I would just want to see if you had any experience with it.
No, I haven't, but I'm going to look it up right now, and I'm going to dial this in for you. And by doing so, off the cuff here, you're going to see my thought process, and you'll be able to understand how we roll here, okay? So here it is. I'm reading this right off the net. Kennedy's disease is a rare and currently incurable and non-treatable X-linked recessive genetic progressive neuromuscular disease. Kennedy's disease is an adult-onset disease with symptoms usually appearing between the ages of 30 and 50. Generally, males with this inherited gene develop symptoms, while females with this gene are usually just carriers. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm looking to see if the gene that's involved here is a gene or if it's a mutation to a gene. If it's a gene or if it's a mutation to a gene. I'm probably going to think that it is, in fact, a mutation to a gene. And I'm looking for that reference right now. Can't see it. I'm going to have to do a little more research to this, but here's what we do know about genetics. And what you should do is get a copy of Dr. Wallach's book, Epigenetics, and give it to your friend. Get a copy of Dr. Wallach's new book, Epigenetics. and have your doctor friend read this, because here's the deal. There's a difference between a gene and a mutated gene. The breast cancer is not caused by a gene, it's caused by a mutated gene. The BRCA gene is a mutation of a healthy gene. Cystic fibrosis is not caused by a gene, it's caused by a mutated gene. It's a damaged chromosome. It's a damaged chromosome. And, medical professionals never ask themselves, well, what caused the damage? They just think it's baked into the cake. Now, certain illnesses are, in fact, baked into the cake, like Down syndrome, right? Once that switch is flipped, you're never going to be able to un-Down syndrome somebody. And I'm not sure if Kennedy's disease is of the same ilk. Maybe it is. With muscular dystrophy and cystic fibrosis, if we intervene in enough time, you can see remarkable resolutions of these conditions. So what I do know about the body is that it's always actively trying to support and promote, it's always actively trying to optimize its structure and function. 100% of the time, the body is actively trying to optimize its structure and function. There is a point beyond which the body can't recover. Maybe, with Kennedy's disease, this is it. I don't think so. If I had Kennedy's disease, I would eliminate the 10 bad foods, and I would nutrify my body. I would max out my body's medical nutrition every day. I would max it out. And I would do that for 12 months, and I would see if I got any traction. Because, look, there's more going on here than meets the eye, and the body has more working parts than just the nerves, right? The body is a complex, interrelated system of parts, each part affecting the other. Now, whether we can, make and get traction with this particular neurological illness or not, I don't know. But the rest of his body needs nutrition. And maybe it's entirely possible that the quality of his life will increase to a remarkable, measurable, and noticeable degree when he gets on board with the right stuff. Stick around with me. At the other end of the break, I'll tell you what to do. Appreciate your phone call. Stick around, folks. More to come. Yeah, that's what it feels like, isn't it? Mission Impossible? It's Mission Possible, though. Remember, the sower had good seed. Some seed fell on, some seed fell on rocky ground. Nothing happened. Some seed the birds got. Some seed started growing, got choked out, right? But some seed fell on fertile ground, so it's about 25% of the people that you show this information to will get it. 75% won't. So grow a thick skin and tell as many people as you can, and if you can secure 25% success, you are a god or a goddess amongst men. Camille from Washington is still with us. Hey, Camille, are you still here?
Yes, I am.
All right, so nerve function needs cholesterol and essential fatty acids in order to optimize its structure and function. So the recommendation here is 1 healthy brain and heart pack, 1 selenium, 1 immortalium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 healthy brain and heart pack, 1 selenium, and 1 bottle of immortalium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods and eat a diet high in cholesterol. And I mean go crazy for cholesterol. And, if he's been drilled by his medical colleagues, if the false notion that cholesterol is the Antichrist has been drilled into his head by his medical colleagues, then do a Google search for Ufi Ravenskov, U-F-F-E, that's the first name, it's a Russian medical doctor, R-A-V like Victor, N-S-K-O-V, Ufi Ravenskov. He did a meta-analysis of all of the research ever published anywhere on heart disease and could find no relationship between cholesterol and heart disease. It does not exist. It is one of the biggest, most stupidest myths to persist in medical culture. But you know what's going to happen? One of these days, the MDs are going to say, hey, you know what? We were wrong about that whole cholesterol thing. Sorry. Then they're going to turn around, walk away, and nobody's going to complain. So there's no relationship between high cholesterol and heart disease. It does not exist. Your friend needs to develop a love affair with cholesterol on top of the 90 essential nutrients and an elimination of the 10 bad foods. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Camille. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you for your trust, and good luck with the next step. I'm thinking you're going to need it. Maybe not, though. People that are at the end of their rope, looking down the barrel of a gun of a chronic incurable disease, will do just about anything. And, you know, it's a sad state of affairs that it has to get to be that bad for people to listen to what we have to say. It's a sad state of affairs, and that's why becoming a longevity distributor is important, because the more longevity distributors there are, the more this information reaches into people's lives before the axe falls, right? So prevention is key here. I mean, with the selenium research, 200 micrograms of selenium reduces the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%, which means that if every girl in the world took one selenium supplement every day for their entire life in one generation, we'd eliminate breast cancer by 82%. By the way, selenium supplementation also dramatically reduces colon cancer, lung cancer, and prostate cancer. So, but if you don't know that, you don't know that, and so you go along with your life, and then you wake up one day and you've got prostate cancer when you could have been taking active steps to prevent it all along. You know, I mean, we encourage people to stop smoking cigarettes, right, to avoid cancer. We encourage people to stop working in the asbestos-laden factory to avoid mesothelioma, right? Well, why don't we take proactive steps and encourage people to take selenium? We do. Nobody else does. If your oncologist doesn't know about selenium, they should have their license yanked, because there is so much research about the relationship between selenium and the prevention of breast cancer, lung cancer, prostate cancer, and colon cancer, that if your medical doctor is not aware of it, then they're a slacker. They're a slacker. They're a slacker. For goodness sake. But once again, remember, it's not your oncologist's job to cure cancer. It's your oncologist's job to suppress your symptoms until you die from cancer. And if that doesn't piss you off, you're simply not paying attention. My website is chock full of information like this, ladies and gentlemen. Go to it. Become an insider as a Dr. Glidden Insider, which is a monthly subscription service, $20 a month. Or, you know, I forget how much a year, $195 a year. You save 2 months if you join up for a whole year. You have immediate access to 100-plus hours of health webinars that I've done, 60-minute webinars each, all about different health conditions. If you like what I'm talking about on the radio, you're going to love the webinars. Check it out, drglidden.com. Click on the Become an Insider button and get your health back. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here with you. In the second hour, Betty from the District of Columbia is calling with a question, I believe, about glaucoma. Hey, Betty, thanks for the call. You are live. Come in, Betty.
You are truly an answer to my prayers.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm here, Betty.
Well, the reason why I'm calling today, I have had for about 20 years glaucoma.
Ouch.
And as a result of, having it over the years, dealing with the eye drops that I just did not agree with my body,
right.
The doctor decided that the only other recourse would be to do surgery on my eyes and insert tubes to release the pressure.
Well, at least he didn't want to take your eye out.
Yeah, thank God for that. But anyway, since I've had the surgery, I have had just lots of inflammation, especially in my left eye, and I don't know why. Inflammation that they have been treating me since last June and July, with prednisone drops. I should know that without having to stutter.
Yeah.
But anyway, it wasn't until about 3 weeks ago when I heard about longevity that I got started on the product. Since that time, I have been successfully off of the prednisone drops because my eyes have been feeling much better.
Gotta love it.
I am not sure that what I'm taking now is the correct pack. I was told to take the Healthy Pack, which I started with the Healthy Pack, and the OPCT. I want to know if that is what I need to continue to correct the problem, because I do have some loss of vision, and I also have a cataract that was removed on the left eye, but I still have one on the right eye.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you called. You need to dial in a better program here, a more efficient program, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's just like, it's just like doing laundry, right? I mean, I'm horrible at doing laundry, and I'll admit it. I put clothes in the washing machine, and they come out with more spots on them than they did when I put them in, right? My fiance puts clothes in the washing machine, they come out looking like they're brand freaking new, and because there's a way to screw, you can even screw that up, right? So, right, it's the same thing with medical nutrition or anything. You got to dial it in, and so we need help here. But there's one thing I would like you to do for a little bit of inspiration. There's a website I'd like to direct you to, yteamtools.com, yteamtools.com, and I want you to purchase a CD that you can get there called Seeing is Believing.
I have that.
You have it?
That.
Okay, great. All right. So and that's testimonials, right, from people with many different types of eye conditions that got on board with medical nutrition and got their vision back. So now remember, right, we're not in the business of false hope. There is a point of no return. But I got to tell you, honest to God, Betty, since I've been working with Dr. Wallach, I'm extremely humbled, because I used to think, I was a very good doctor, right? And I used to think I knew where the point of no return was. Oh, you'll never recover from that. And then Wallach comes along, and in his sleep, people recover from these things, and my head exploded. So, right? Maybe you'll be able to get it all back, maybe 80%, maybe 50%. But what we must understand here is that you didn't get glaucoma because you had eyes. And you didn't get glaucoma because you had a prednisone drop deficiency. You didn't get glaucoma because God didn't give you little plastic tubes that the MDs put in your eyes, right?
Right.
The process which causes this to happen, we believe, is generated by chronic inflammation to the microvasculature of the eyes. And chronic inflammation to the microvasculature of the eyes causes the vasculature to the eyes to get clogged and plugged up. Not really any different than your sink drain getting clogged up and then the water backs up. So that's why the MDs put the tubes in, because they're trying artificially to, increase the circulation by ramming, a plastic tube into the drain. And, well, maybe, but that's not going to eliminate the root cause of the illness, and there's going to cause more inflammation ultimately, because that stuff shouldn't be in the eye in the first place. So our recommendation here is twofold. Number one, you have to stop eating food that causes inflammation anywhere in the body, which is an interesting thing to talk about, right? Because some people will eat food that causes inflammation, and it messes up their kidney. Some people, it messes up their eye. Some people, it messes up their left knee. Some people, it messes up their gallbladder. Some people, it messes up their heart. This is really what we should be investigating, is, why it goes here in one person and there in another person. Nobody knows. But from our point of view, because everything's connected, it would be prudent to eliminate foods that are pro-inflammatory, number one. And number two, to give the fire department of your body a leg up so that it can put the fires of inflammation out. So, and that's all that we do here with medical nutrition. So, number one, you have to eliminate the 10 bad foods. Have you done that?
I've started doing that, and I feel much better.
All right, good girl. You want to keep riding that horse. It's going to produce big payoffs for you eventually. And the way that goes, it's kind of like a snowball rolling down a hill, right? Eventually, it gets to a point where it's like really big, and then it takes off. And the same thing happens when you've been eliminating the 10 bad foods for a month or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months, and all of a sudden it develops a life of its own. So just keep riding that horse, please. It's gonna take you a great distance. Number two, what's your body weight?
164.
Okay, so because this is a therapeutic intervention, right, you would benefit, if you can afford it, from a 200-pound dose for, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And the program that we recommend here, the Boilerplate Foundation Medical Nutrition Support and Promote programs that we recommend, have 2 phases, right? There's a therapeutic phase, and then there's a maintenance phase. Uh-huh. And in the therapeutic phase, we give more than we do on the maintenance phase because we're trying to make up for lost time and kind of, stick our fingers in the holes in the dike, right? So in a perfect world, the recommendation for you would be all right, so here's what I'm going to recommend. 2 Healthy Start Pack 2.0 liquid formulas. 2 Healthy Start Pack 2.0 liquids per month. 4 bottles of selenium per month. 4 bottles of selenium per month. And 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily capsules per month.
Ultimate Daily. Okay, how do I take all this?
Well, how did you find out about us?
Through Dr. Benny Hinn's show.
Okay, and so who did you order the products through?
Chris in Utah.
All right, so call Chris or email Chris, and it's Chris's job as part of this network to walk you through how to take the stuff and hold your hand and help you figure all this out, right? Okay. And then that's how we do it. And, if you think that one through, it kind of makes sense because I can only answer so many phone calls a day, right? Right. Right? Dr. Wallach can only answer so many phone calls a day. So Chris hopefully has learned the ropes here, and the people that brought him or her in have taught them, and that's how we do it, through kind of a grassroots coalition. But he or she will tell you how to take the stuff, no problem. Okay. And that's how you do it. And I cannot emphasize enough, however, Betty, that you really have to maintain the discipline for the 10 bad foods, especially in this case, oil in a bottle and fried food. So that means
I definitely will do that because I've always been a person that has been health conscious.
Yeah.
And now that you have, enlightened me about the 10 worst foods, there's no way I'm going to go back eating the way I used to.
Well, listen, when you in your discovery process figure out a really good tasting salad dressing that's oil free, okay, call me back and let me know because
certainly will.
Because we need to know this. You help me, I'll help you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Glidden.
You're welcome, Betty. You can thank me after it works. I appreciate your trust very much. Jim in Indiana is up next. Let's see what's happening. Hey, Jim, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. How you doing today, bud?
Pretty good, man. What's up?
Hey, you're on fire today. I know that.
I know, right? I don't know what happened.
Passion.
Someone flipped a switch.
Hey, I was on the chat last week, Tuesday chat.
Yeah.
And I had a friend. I give you a big list of drugs that he was on.
Yeah.
I don't know if you recall that. You asked me to have him call. Yeah. His schedule will not allow that. So
okay.
I figured I'd try to call. If not, I was going to get on chat tonight and ask again.
Yep.
An idea for what he should be doing.
Well, what was the diagnosis?
Well, he's on Nexium, of course.
Yeah.
Sartan, triamterene, phenylfibrate.
Well, he's got. Did they tell you what he has? Does he have like GERD or esophageal reflux or high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes?
Yeah, he's got the high blood pressure. He's got, and of course, high cholesterol.
Yeah, well, yeah. So he doesn't have high cholesterol, right? So
right.
Nobody has high. Well, some people do, but if you're below 350, I'm good. If his total cholesterol is below 350, I'm good. Okay. Right. So heartburn. Now, I need to make one thing very clear here for you, and I know you understand this, but for the listening audience. Mm-hmm. In the context of this radio show, it's not appropriate for me to mess with people's prescription medications. And quite frankly, it's illegal. The only people that I can do that with are patients of mine who are seeing me in a state in which I am licensed to practice naturopathic medicine with prescriptive medicine rights. For instance, if I was licensed in Washington State, where I used to be licensed, and I could easily get another naturopathic license tomorrow to practice medicine in Washington State if I wanted to, I could tell patients who came to see me, as a patient, what to do about prescription medications, because in that state I'm allowed to prescribe drugs. So if I'm allowed to prescribe them, I'm allowed to deprescribe them, and that's how that works. But in the context of this radio show, I can't do that. However, what I do here is give people advice about what I would do if I were in their shoes. So if I was in the shoes of somebody who was taking a heartburn medicine or a statin drug, a cholesterol-lowering medication, I would flush them down the toilet immediately. I would flush those drugs down the toilet immediately. If it were me, of course, I can't tell them to do that because of legal reasons. Now, from our point of view, right, heartburn is not caused by too much stomach acid. It's caused by not enough stomach acid. And so what's useful, if somebody has been saddled with a diagnosis of heartburn, GERD, esophageal reflux, or whatever, is to support and promote the structure and function of the stomach, and we do that with elimination of the 10 bad foods, one healthy digestion pack for 100 pounds of body weight per month, and a diet that's high in salt. Salt your food so that it tastes good. For blood pressure support, we would add to that program 1 bottle of Cal Toddy per month. 1 bottle of Cal Toddy per month. And stick with me, Jim. On the other side of the break, I'll tell you more. Hey, finishing it up today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for spending 2 hours with me. I hope you learned something today. Every once in a while, I get a little excited, and I think that's a good thing. Every once in a while, you need to stand up on the ship and yell, "Fire," when in fact there is a fire. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger, Will Robinson. Well, guess what? Your MD doesn't know what's best for you. They only know what they've been trained in. And what they've been trained in is how to suppress your symptoms with man-made synthetic drugs sold to you at a profit, the intention of which is not to cure you, but to manage your symptoms. Medical doctors, bless their hearts, do not practice health care. They practice disease management. They are most excellent to go to if you're suffering for the trauma to your body, or you actually really, in fact, do need surgery. Or you have, a nasty infectious disease, right, like tuberculosis or something crazy like that. Then the MD has relatively good therapeutics for you. But for everything else, they are evil and should be avoided like the plague. Finishing up with Jim today. All right, Jim, you still with me?
I'm still with you.
All right. So, what we do, right, when there's smoke, when there's hoofbeats, we think about horses before we think about, a Sasquatch, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So with blood pressure issue, the first thing to think of is supporting healthy circulation, and we do that with extra calcium and magnesium. So to the healthy digestion pack, I would add a Cal Toddy, 1 or 2 extra bottles of Cal Toddy a month. And it's important when people are taking blood pressure meds, because, of course, high blood pressure is called the silent killer, to get some type of a blood pressure measurement device that they check with a medical professional. So you go to CVS or Walgreens, you get a cuff, and then you take it to your fire department and have the guys who are not out on call measure your blood pressure with their equipment and with your equipment, and you see that your equipment is accurate. Now, once your equipment is accurate, you take your blood pressure a couple times a day at home and you write the numbers down. And then you maintain the therapeutic with your prescription medication if you want to. It's a free country. You can do whatever you want. And then you start the medical nutrition intervention, whether it's ours or somebody else's, and hopefully it's ours. And then when your blood pressure numbers start to come down, you go back to your medical professional or a pharmacist and say, "Hey, man, my blood pressure's coming down. I need to withdraw from the med. How do I do it?" And then they will they're happy to do that once they see subjective or objective improvement. So that's where I would start. I do the healthy digestion pack and extra cal toddy. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. Salt the food so that it tastes good. If it were me, I would flush the statin drugs and the proton pump inhibitors down the toilet. Right. And for all the other drugs, regretfully, he's on his own. What state does this guy live in?
Indiana.
Indiana, yeah. See, we're not licensed and regulated there, so he's kind of on his own. Now, remember, look, it's a free country.
Right.
And people can always go to a pharmacist and say, look, here are the meds that I'm on. I don't want to be on these anymore.
Yeah.
Please recommend a reduction schedule. And also, sometimes what happens, right, is people, they get fed into the system, and so they see the general practicing MD, and then they get referred to a specialist, and then they get referred to another specialist. And so, each individual doctor doesn't care what the patient's already taking because they're busy and they don't have time to attend to that. Yeah. So often, people are on way too many medications just because there are too many chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So sometimes, if that is what has happened to this guy, and I don't know if it is, what needs to happen is he needs to step up and tell his general practicing family doc, look, just bring all the crap into the doctor's office. Say, look, this is all that I'm taking. I really don't think I need to be taking all this stuff. I need you to whittle this stuff down to the bare bones for me, please, because this is nonsense. And sometimes they can get traction that way. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Jim, I could talk to you all day, man. Call more. I always look forward to your phone calls. I appreciate your support as an insider. I appreciate the stand that you've taken for the health of your friends, family, and church members, et cetera, with longevity. You are one of the reasons we move forward rapidly. I appreciate everything that you do. Thanks to everybody in the chat room. Thanks for all of your support. The next live event for insiders only tonight, 8 o'clock Central Time. Live chat with yours truly. Check it out, drglidden.com. Click on the Become an Insider button. God willing, the creek don't rise. See you then. Live long and prosper.